Hey friends, welcome back to She's At It Again. My name is Tanya, and today I want you to walk through this recipe with me. This is for a shrimp and vegetable stir fry. This has red peppers in it and some snow peas. You can use sugar snap peas. This is really good. It's one of those things that it's really good in the cold weather months, but it's also so refreshing in the warm weather months too. So if you'll refer back to the video where we made baked rice, you know I'm a big fan of the baked rice, not the kind that you put on top of the stove where it boils over and it really doesn't have a whole lot of flavor to it. But this is baked rice that you make with a chicken stock or chicken broth. You can use vegetable stock, or you can use seafood stock if you want to. But make that baked rice, have it ready, and we're going to make some shrimp and vegetable stir fry to put over that. It's going to be really good. So just walking you through the steps. We're going to rinse our shrimp off. I'll show that. Mix our spices up. We're going to let the spices and some of the things and the shrimp sit in the refrigerator for a while to get those flavors in there. So at the last minute, we just start throwing things in the skillet. It goes together really quick. So I think you're going to enjoy this. So sit back and enjoy the video. Okay, first thing we want to do is rinse our shrimp. And I want to show you what I have here. I have my recipe all laid out, ready to do it, and I'm no dummy. When I go to the store and they have their shrimp marked down, I'm the first one to grab it. So I grabbed a package of these. I did leave one for somebody else because I only need one. But you're going to need about a pound of shrimp. Now whether you buy frozen or fresh, it matters not. But here's the key to it is, I want to make sure I'm getting this in there, where it says right up here, it'll either say sustainably farm raised, probably, so whatever sustainably is, I don't know, probably sustainable for the farmer, but I would suggest you choose the wild caught. So anyway, save $9.27. Yeah, I'm glad I saved $9.27. So we're going to take our package, open it up, rinse this off. I have a colander. I have a plastic colander right here. I'll put that back in that bag and take it out to the trash. I don't want it sitting in my kitchen trash because then my kitchen will start smelling like some dead shrimp in the middle of the night. And that's not my idea of a good night's rest. So I like to make sure I have all these sand veins picked out. You can see them pretty easily in there. But I also like to make sure there's no pieces of shell left on the shrimp, and I can normally tell when I run my fingers through it. I would normally use some wild-caught frozen shrimp, but when I went to the store today and they had this, that's a no-brainer for me. If I don't have to thaw it and it looks this pretty. And these are pretty big shrimp, so I like that part. Okay, we're going to let these drain for just a bit, and then we'll go over to the other side of the kitchen and start adding our seasonings to it so they can sit in the refrigerator and marinate for a while. So I started to get all this together and just show you what it looked like before I put it in the fridge to marinate, but this is silly. I have a cooking video. You might like to watch somebody cook as much as I like to watch somebody cook. That's kind of the process of it. So it's very relaxing to me to watch those videos. So I hope it's as relaxing to you as well as it is informative. So anyway, and I apologize for the laundry going in the background. That's just how it goes in my house. There's always a noise. So what I've done is I've grated up some fresh garlic. I have a zester or a rasp. And I've grated up some fresh garlic. This is about 1/4 teaspoon. If you like it really spicy, add more, did I say garlic? I meant ginger. So this is ginger. About 1/4 teaspoon of ginger. But if you like it spicy, like a hot spicy, then by all means, put more ginger in it. I don't like it super spicy, but I do like to be able to taste it. And I don't want powdered ginger in mine. That just kind of lacks in enthusiasm or something. So to that, ginger. We're going to have 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne. And this is not a hot and spicy dish, but there is a lot of flavor to it. So, but don't let the cayenne and the ginger mislead you into thinking it's going to be super hot and spicy, because it's not. So about 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Then we're going to need about a clove of minced garlic. And you know how I measure that out. Just plop some in there. We're going to need a tablespoon of sesame seeds. And this is how I'm going to measure my sesame seeds. I love sesame seeds and stuff. I think they give it not only that visual effect, but I like the texture of it, but I love the flavor of sesame seeds. But I love the flavor of sesame oil. Now this has a lot of flavor to it. So to that, we're going to add 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper. And then we're going to put about 2 teaspoons of sesame oil in there. I think I could be the Ellie Mae Clampett, and instead of putting vanilla behind my ear, honestly think I could put sesame oil back there. I'm telling you, the flavor is so good, but the fragrance is just so pretty too. I love sesame oil. I grew up on a farm. We did not cook with sesame oil. We cooked with Crisco. Wesson oil every once in a while if we needed something real liquidy, like if we were having a big fish fry, but I'd never heard of sesame oil in my life. But once I started using it, I figured out that's what I want to eat when I grew up, some sesame oil. Okay, so this is what our mixture looks like. Just a little runny. There's not a lot to it, but I started to put it in a zip top bag, but I decided to put it in this just because I have room in the refrigerator and I like this bowl. So our shrimp has been drained for the most part, and we're just going to dump it in there. Give it a stir. I'll probably shake it up real good too. Wipe it off my spatula. Now what we're going to do is put this in the refrigerator, and like say if you're going to eat dinner at 6 o'clock, I would say at about 5:30 you can start pulling things out. You're going to need to slice some red bell pepper. That gives it that sweetness. And this also has the 1/2 pound of sugar snap peas in it. And then you'll want to have your rice cooked by that time too. So we'll just let this sit in the refrigerator, get all those flavors blended together, and get that flavor into that shrimp. And then I'll start slicing my peppers and stuff ahead of time, but we'll come back later on and we'll video the process of actually cooking the shrimp, and I'll have the rice in the oven too at that time. So bear with us and we'll be right back. Okay, I'm gonna heat the skillet up. We have our rice cooking in the oven. It has about 16.5 minutes to go. And so we're gonna heat our skillet up. Let's see, to about medium heat. We're gonna put in about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I want this hot enough where I can't touch it with my hand without it burning. So about 2 tablespoons of oil. Put that aside. This is just organic extra virgin olive oil. I have our red pepper and our green onions, just the green tops of them, chopped up. You saw me doing that earlier on a video. For some reason, between the time I chopped those and then came over and did something else, whatever the last part of the video was, I lost this little top thing to my microphone, and I'm hoping the dogs didn't eat it, but I don't know. I will find it if they did. But I have looked everywhere, so luckily I had extra ones. I'm not meant to wear a microphone. I'm just not. So anyway, I thought it'd be cool to have the one where I could just kind of roam around, one of those Rode microphones, but apparently I can't take care of anything. So, okay, that skillet's pretty hot. All right, let me read over my instructions one more time. I've made this a few times, but not consistently enough to where I know what to do next. Okay, we're going to add these. It says let that cook for about 3 or 4 minutes until they're soft. We have our shrimp in this container that we've had marinating in the fridge. We'll put that back here. I have 3 tablespoons of coconut aminos over there. The original recipe called for teriyaki sauce. I'm not a fan of teriyaki sauce just because of the soy in it. But I do like coconut aminos. In fact, I could probably just take a spoon and eat some coconut aminos by themselves. They're just that good. Okay, looking for the spoon that I want. I think I need this up pretty high. Those green onions and those red peppers are just so pretty. Let me turn this light on. Just make sure that's not too bright. No, that looks fine. Okay, in the meantime, I'm going to put 1/8 of a cup of cornstarch. This is just non-GMO cornstarch. I'm going to put that in my 3/4 of a cup of broth here. And like I said earlier, you can use vegetable broth, you can use broth made with shrimp shells or things like that, some seafood broth, but I just have a lot of chicken bone broth that I keep in my other refrigerator ready for recipes. The idea is to kind of finish up this about the same time the rice finishes up, but if the rice finishes first, that's not an issue because I just turn the oven off and leave it in there. Because it has a lid and some parchment on it, it's not going to dry out. It's not certainly not going to burn at 350. So that rice is very forgiving. That's another reason we like it so much. If you have a wok, this would be the ideal time to use that if you've just been looking for a reason to use a wok that you don't use for a lot of things. This would be a good time to use that. Okay, we're going to pour our coconut aminos in there. Still have our heat up pretty high. Okay, next thing we're going to add in here is the sugar snap peas. I'm hoping it gets this in there. One of our Walmart stores in town carries the organic sugar snap peas and the other one doesn't. Don't ask me why. But I'm glad that one of them does. Add our snow peas. Actually, are those snow peas? No, sugar snap peas. Sugar snap peas. Snow peas are flat. Sugar snap peas are a little more plump. You can use either one, I think. And again, still keep your heat up high. Now we're going to add our shrimp to this. And I want to get all those sesame seeds and that garlic and all that stuff in here with it. Because seafood cooks so fast, that's why you add it last. Well, not the last ingredient, but the last out of the main ingredients. We're still going to add our broth. And then the cornstarch will thicken it up, so it'll be like a sauce. Stir this around. This just goes together so fast once you start cooking it. I don't like it when I see stems on things. I have to get a stem out of there. I figured this video is probably going to come out in the middle of May or end of May, somewhere along in there. And you're probably watching it going, why is she wearing a sweater? This is just one of those unusually cool days here in Arkansas. I have on multiple layers because I ran errands earlier today. But just typical spring in Arkansas. And I'll probably watch this video in May just to send it out on Facebook and other areas and go, but I can't even watch it because the sweater's making me too hot. Okay, so in this cup right here, I'm going to use my spatula that I stirred the shrimp with because this is going to be heated up anyway. that cornstarch, when you pour it in there, at first you think it's not going to dissolve in there. Well, it doesn't really dissolve, it just kind of floats around, but at first you think it's not going to dissolve, and all of a sudden you're like, well, now I can't pull it off the bottom of it. It really sits on the bottom heavy. But just keep it stirred up. Once your shrimp looks like it's opaque instead of transparent or translucent, then you add your 3/4 of a cup of broth and 1/8 cup of cornstarch added to it. So this is instantly just going to make it thick once we pour it in there. And you can add salt to taste on this. The coconut aminos gives it enough salty flavor. Sometimes you don't need it, but of course if you're used to salty things or you want it more salty than what it is, then by all means add it to it. So see that pretty gravy? That is beautiful. Okay, let me turn that heat down. I'm going to go over here and make sure this is getting a close-up of that. Okay, I'm going to turn it heat all the way off. And our rice has about 4 minutes to go. That'll give this just enough time to steam a bit. I'm going to put a lid on it. Let that steam. And then I'll show you what the final product looks like when we get it all dished up. All right, let me grab a plate. We're going to dish some up. Take the parchment off. This is why we love this rice. I hope you can see how fluffy that is. It is perfect every single time. Pretty that sauce is. Hopefully you can see that. Okay guys, we're ready to eat. Hope you can see that. Doesn't that look good? Oh, it smells so good. Just the sesame itself just smells so good. So hope you can give this a try. I hope you found this beneficial, and I hope you found this just enjoying to watch. So we look forward to seeing you next time, sharing something else with you. Thanks for watching.